Recently, my sister and I had this big fight. You know the kind where you're typing these long, emotional texts in the family group chat? Looking back, we both handled it, let's say, less than gracefully. But what really got me thinking was my parents' response in our separate group chat. I can't believe she went on to say that. I don't want to talk to her anymore. 유진아, 좀 그만 동생이랑 싸워. You're the older one. You can't continue to treat arguments like that. That one line brought up so many feelings about what it really means to be the first child. The expectations, the responsibilities, the constant reminder to set an example and carve the right path. Hello, if you're new here, this is Eugene. I'm a 33-year-old management consultant based in Boston. The footage you're seeing now is actually from my family vacation in Hua Hin, Thailand. Well, minus my sister. And no, our fight earlier has nothing to do with why she couldn't come. But rewatching this trip and enjoying these simple moments in her absence got me thinking, what does it mean to be the oldest child? Everyone thinks it's about having more privileges, being the first. But really, it's about carrying these invisible responsibilities that no one really talks about. Today, I want to share 4 stories about being the oldest child, the burdens we carry, the responsibilities we hold, the strengths we gain, and how our role keeps evolving as we grow older. I never asked to be the first child. Sometimes I feel like the first draft. You know the V1 or underscore draft with all caps that you put into the names of the end of your files? I'm sure there is nothing in the world that will help you feel prepared to raise a child. So naturally, being the firstborn, I was a trial run. The fact that I'm Korean layers in an interesting cultural aspect.
We're gonna go to the cave and I'm super excited because this is my first time in Thailand.
I am Korean and spent the majority of my formative years here. Here, we use the term K-장녀. This word refers to the stereotype or experience of being the eldest daughter in the Korean family. It literally means Korean eldest daughter. I've definitely noticed that I've been holding my emotions back, and it starts from little things. Growing up as a kid, the schools in Korea would have annual health checkups for the students. Genetically, my blood vessels are really hard to find, so when I go to the hospital for blood draws, the nurses end up poking around both of my hands and in all sorts of different places. I once told my mom about this and she started to worry that it would hurt me a lot. It wasn't just medical visits. Even small achievements carried the weight of expectations. When I moved to a new middle school in Seoul, I got my first C in Korean. And my parents didn't scold me. Instead, they worried about how this might affect my sister's studying habits. You know, she looks up to you, right? That quiet reminder hit harder than any scolding could. These little moments shape you. Learning to smile through blood tests, celebrating achievements quietly, holding back tears when things get kind of tough. Because as the oldest, your reactions ripple through the whole family. You know what's interesting about these emotional burdens? They naturally lead to taking on more responsibilities. On a daily basis, I am basically the family's unofficial project manager. At times, I feel like a personal assistant for my dad. Translate this, provide feedback on scripts, answer questions on what's happening in the US and the election, and a Google restaurant review for my mom, or an Amazon deliverer for my sister. But here's what's fascinating. These aren't just tasks, they're threads of connections. Every time I help my dad with his phone, we end up talking about his day. When my mom asks about restaurants, it turns into a conversation about her friends. Even my sister's Amazon questions leads to catching up about life. And as for bigger things, there were moments when my family asked for financial support. It was going to be not a one-time purchase, but quite significant of an investment. I don't remember the exact cost now, but it felt like preparing for a down payment for a condo that cost around $500,000. My family has been a huge part of my life that it felt really odd to say anything but a yes. To be fair, no one was forcing me or guilt-tripping me. I was much younger and definitely felt an internal pressure. Would I not be a good daughter if I turned this down? What about all the things my family has provided for me? Am I ungrateful? Being the oldest child isn't just about burdens. It's given me strengths I never expected. Last month, I was at a client site for a large meeting our team has been preparing for months. The room was tense, expectations were really high, and suddenly I realized this kind of feels familiar. I wonder why. And it was just like one of those family dinners where I had to mediate between my sister's dreams and my parents' concerns. That same skill of reading the room, anticipating needs, and finding the middle ground has become my superpower at work. And you know what's fascinating? Those heavy responsibilities we carried as children have become our greatest tools as adults. That heightened awareness of others' feelings, that's emotional intelligence. Always having to figure things out first, that's leadership. Being the family translator, those are communication skills. But the biggest strength? Learning to carry responsibility with grace. When my sister was struggling with her career choice, instead of jumping in to fix everything like I used to, I learned to just listen, to be present without taking over. If she's watching this video and has gone this far, actually she might disagree, but I hope she gives me some credit that I've come pretty far from where I started. Sometimes strength isn't about carrying more. It's about knowing when to let others carry their own weight. The funny thing about being the oldest is watching your world change as everyone grows up. I loved my younger sister the moment I met her. I came down the apartment with different shoes on each side, so excited to meet this cute little sister who's been hiding under my mom's belly for the past few months. And of course, I don't remember all of this, but that's what my parents told me. And when I see so many photos of me giving my sister a piggyback ride, I wonder whether I saw myself as a mini mom. Then I strive to be that cool 언니, or the older sibling. My sister and I were so close in age that the same teacher who taught me would be the teacher for her a year later. So naturally, I wanted to be that model student, not just for me and my parents, but also for her. But as I've grown older, I realized that being the oldest isn't about perfection. It's about navigating our relationships in a way that allows for growth, forgiveness, and balance. So, about that fight with my sister earlier. Of course, it was messy, frustrating, a lot of unnecessary tears. But it also made me realize how much I value her. Even when we don't agree on many things, such as whether Taylor Swift's tickets are actually worth it. Growing up, I often felt like I had to shoulder everything alone. But I learned that it's okay to ask for help, to lean on my sister, my mom, my dad, and to let them lean on me in return. At the end of the day, being the oldest isn't about doing it all perfectly. It's about showing up, trying your best, and being willing to learn and grow alongside your family. So what does it mean to be the oldest child? It means carrying invisible responsibilities, yes, but also gaining strengths you never expected. It means navigating family dynamics, learning to let go of perfection, and finding joy in the connections you share with your siblings and parents, even if things can be complicated. And to my younger siblings out there, give us a little grace. Be nice to us. We're really figuring it out as we go, just like you are. And to my fellow firstborns, you're doing better than you think. Take a moment to reflect. Let the weight you held on to sink in, but also celebrate the resilience, the empathy, and the love that you now carry. If you've gotten stories of your own about being the oldest, or even the youngest or middle, I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and come back to my next video topic on
Let's go! It's time to be the GOAT. It's time to enter God mode, man, let's get it going. I wanna be the greatest, energy is overflowing. I know I'm stoking the fire, my desire's taking over.